You said last time that you wouldn't mind the job of President of the United States. Do I take it that you're still in candidacy?
Well, they haven't been burning up the wires.
No.
I'm not really in a position at this point of time to state that I am ready for candidacy of the president.
Well, one thing that amused me about that really was I was looking on television the other night, and you had the vice president designate, whose name I can't remember now.
Ford.
Ford, that's
yes,
Gerald Ford.
Should be easy.
Gerald Ford,
yeah.
That's right, yes. And
Gerald is the tough part of it.
That's right, yeah.
We call him Jerry.
Jerry. And he was sort of before some kind of preliminary Senate investigatory committee. And he was saying the most extraordinary things about, you can investigate me, you can investigate my children, you can talk to my bank manager, you know, you can look into me and there's nothing wrong with me. I'd love to be there, actually, if you ever got to the position of President of the United States where they were investigating you. I mean...
You mean me?
You, yeah. I mean,
but I've been investigated over and over again by the Americans, by all kinds of American committees and
really?
FBI and everybody, sure. Sure, it's one of our favorite indoor and outdoor sports. What else were we doing in the doctor's office during Ellsberg's trial, but investigated?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
My trouble during the investigation period, what I was being investigated a lot was during the time of the anti-American McCarthy period, you see. And I never got to testify because I kept begging to be allowed to. And this was a line of argument that nobody else took. And it absolutely stopped them. I said, oh, please let me go and explain why I'm not a communist. Well, we'll let you know, you know. Then one of them earlier in the day, there was one congressional committee which was run by a fellow called Dyes, who ended up in jail for one of those minor crimes that seem to tempt our people in elective office. And he was a strong patriot. He wrapped himself in the American flag as fully as it was possible to do. And he had an un-American, or whatever it was called, affairs committee long before McCarthy started. And he sent a few louts over to see me in my office in Hollywood. And they were particularly uneducated and dumb, and they fell into a marvelous trap. Because they said to me, are you a card-carrying communist? Of course, I've never been even faintly pro-communist, but I am on the progressive side, as I imagine you've guessed. But I said, will you define what a communist is? And this is when they fell in the trap. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, just, I want to answer your question honestly. How can I answer your question if you don't tell me what you mean? Well, what's communist? Well, I guess it's where whatever you make goes to the government. I said, well, I'm 86% communist. The rest is capitalist. That's the income tax that one pays to America.